Welcome back everyone to the 6th episode of my Wolfram Park series on Planet Coaster. I'm going to start off this episode by talking about why I'm building this massive building. You can start to see the outline of it here at the beginning of the video, this massive white wall that goes all the way from the edge of the park towards the center section. I had a small village, as I said, that I was going to be working on. I had some of it finished when a bug hit my save game files and caused 2 of my 3 to basically get a bug where I couldn't rotate objects into one of the 4 positions. Apparently it's a somewhat well-known bug, and I'm not sure when a fix might come out for it, but it affected 2 of my 3 save game files, including all of my autosaves. So I had to go back to my 3rd save game, which was about 8 hours behind what I had been working on. So I lost all of that village work. I ended up watching another guy's video where he made a really cool indoor ride that was space themed. And I had a similar idea when I was building the original coaster that I've already got a video for, but I didn't really want to make a dark ride at that time, so I ended up just doing something different. But now I'm coming back to that idea now that I saw how cool that guy's video was, and it gave me a lot of ideas for building my own first dark ride, which is what I'm doing here. I also want to get this ride built because it's going to act as a base for the German/Swiss area I'm going to be working on next. The hill here that I was originally going to build on isn't really high enough, and I also needed a large flat area for a plaza that will be like a market plaza, and the roof of this dark ride will actually act as that plaza area. Now I am aware that placing paths in the air above buildings, even roof tiles, will still create support beams under them and they'll show up inside the dark ride, but I already have an idea on how to counter that. I can just place pieces of path below every support beam, and the pathing will actually be below the floor of the dark ride, so it won't be visible from the ride. I will also be using the superstructure of this building to place facades on the entrance side of the park and the village side of the park to kind of hide the dark ride building. I already have quite a good idea for what I want to do on the German village side. As I said, the roof of the building will be a large market plaza with the rest of the building structure holding facades for some small buildings and a church, just to help hide away the fact that this whole area will be on top of the dark ride building and make it look a little more natural. I have an idea for this whole section of the park that I want to hopefully do, but it may change or get held off until the terraforming tools are made available, because it'll just make things a lot easier. I also have an idea for the, I guess the 3rd section of the park I'll be working on in the near future, hopefully. It'll be a sort of Venice, Italy area, much like Epcot has, but it'll be quite a bit larger than the Epcot type area. And that'll definitely have to wait for the terraforming tools, because I need to flatten the land to create the canals that I need. But by the time I'm going to get around to that section of the park, that update should have hit already. Now this dark ride, I had a pretty strong idea what I wanted to do when I started it. It's kind of going to be a, if you've seen Space Cowboys or Deep Impact, it'll be sort of that type of a theme, I guess if you want to call it, or mission. Basically the ride will start off with a blast off into space, and then dodging through a asteroid field to come upon a very large asteroid that you've been instructed to destroy before it poses a threat to Earth. And then after destroying the large asteroid, you'll be dodging through the debris from the explosion. And there'll be some cool little areas that I don't really want to spoil until I figure out if they're going to work or not. and then you sort of come back down to Earth and back into the mission control building, which will be the station platform. And as I said, I had this idea much earlier in the Planet Coaster series. I just didn't get around to building the dark ride, but after watching this other guy's video of a very similar idea, it really just sort of was like, yeah, I want to do this, it's time. And then after losing the progress in my German village from the bug I talked about earlier, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna start on this building and, you know, just see how it goes. Creating the sort of star field with the small box lights and the various asteroid areas is probably going to be the hardest part of this build, other than creating a really nice station area. And in this episode, it's just kind of a lot of the basic layout design work that I'm doing, getting the building sort of shaped around the track and figuring how exactly I want the track laid out. So it's a little boring. Hopefully the next video will be a little more interesting with the detail work, but I know that can also get pretty boring, so I'll try and cut out everything that's not, I don't know, super interesting, just to keep the video length down, but try to keep in all the interesting bits. I really hope I'm able to create the German village that I'm sort of envisioning. The available pieces make it a little difficult, and I'm not super creative, so I've been trying to watch some of the other YouTubers that play this game and how they're making some of the Swiss and Alpine type buildings with their sort of intricate woodwork and the different kind of style roofs and things that are characteristic of these types of buildings, to really try and get an idea of how I'm going to lay out mine. And one of the hardest aspects to capture of these types of buildings is the roofs. They tend to have these sort of darker tile roofs, and at first I was trying to use the available beige, yellowish tile roofs that are part of the Colonial set, and they're just too bright to really look like the sort of German and Swiss type building roofs. So I may end up using the blue roofs again, just to try and get that darker palette, which is more characteristic of these types of buildings and just makes it look a little more like those buildings, whereas when I use the colonial roofs, it makes them look too sort of piratey and colonial. this will be it for today. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share my stuff if you can. Hopefully I will see all of you in the next video, and I won't have any more bugs or glitches. Thanks for watching.